Hi, Fashion Dolls. I am back. I am back. I am back. It is Transformation Tuesday, April 8th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Did you guys miss me? I missed y'all. I've been keeping y'all informed on what's been going on. There's so much craziness going on with these tariffs that he's imposing, all of that, and so much more. But today's special guest, Fashion Dolls, is a print runway and fashion model, and I'm super excited to have him here in the dollhouse with me. So this is his first time here, and I'm going to welcome him. But I wanted to know, how are you guys doing? It's a lot that is going on. It's just so much craziness going on that it's even difficult for me to keep up. It's like a whirlwind. It's like what's going on in here. Welcome as you're just coming in. Make sure that you guys are also subscribed to me on YouTube, Style by Stevie Daytime. Make sure you guys head on over there and subscribe. If you have not, hit that bell so you'll be notified when new interviews are posting. Hi, Joe. Joe Rosing will be joining me tomorrow, so make sure you guys tune in. But without further ado, let's welcome our very special guest to the dollhouse, the amazing, the handsome Antonio Hardrick.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome to the dollhouse, my love. Pleasure to have you here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. So before we kick off this interview, how has 2025 been for you so far?
It's been great. I've been doing my thing, the modeling and everything. It's been great. It's been great. It's been very, very great. Very prosperous and everything. How about you?
Yes, the same here, trying to stay grounded as I was introducing you in the beginning of the show. Oh my goodness. But overall, I'm doing wonderful. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Okay, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, yes. So I like to start with my guests at the beginning of their journey. So, how did you get your start in the business? Tell us, who is Antonio Hardrick? Because I know that you are one of the dopest models. I've seen you out here doing your thing on the catwalks, commercial, print, and runway.
Thank you.
So
Thank
tell us,
you.
who is Antonio Hardrick?
Well, I'm 34. I was born and raised right here in Detroit, Michigan. I got my start in modeling by a friend who was a photographer. Her name was Jasmine, and she was working on her photography, her artwork, and she asked me to be, like a test mule, and I did it, and I enjoyed it. And then from there, I wanted more, so I started to seek out like how can I get into the fashion industry, and I asked around with random photographers, and they kept repeating the name Jelly, which is Deshaun. At the time he was over Walk fashion show, him and Crystal, and I messaged him and he told me about a cast, and this is back in 2012. So that was my first fashion show, Walk 6. And from there, I kind of built with them. Then, from there, I just kind of just took off doing other fashion shows like Dream and Styles and everything. So, and I got into print, and I started working with photographers. So, and that's how it all, started. And ever since 2012, I just been on the go, just go, go, go. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So which do you prefer doing the most? Which is the most fun to you? Because I know either or you're still going to be on set either way. Do you like doing commercial or do you like doing the print?
I do like doing print because it's a way for me to get my style out more because I'm very flamboyant with my style, you know. So yeah, print, I will say print. Print is my thing. It
And you
is,
said
yeah.
print. That was going to be another question that I was going to ask you, because your style is like mine, is very eclectic. We don't like to put ourselves in a box. Fashion, and I say this all the time, fashion should be a way for people to express themselves, how we're feeling, our moods. You can tell a lot about a person through their own individual style. So
Mhm.
who were some of your style muses growing up?
I will say the guy who used to it's crazy. What was his name? He used to be work for Diddy. Um He was in,
Farnsworth Bentley.
yes,
Yes.
Farnsworth Bentley. I liked him from G's to Gents. He had that show. I liked him because he was very flamboyant, very clean cut. I loved him. So I kind of, that was my muse. I would say he was like one of my top. Just for him being assistant, he was the flyest guy I ever seen in my life. So I loved him. So that was my muse for like from the beginning. Like I loved him. I loved Farnsworth.
You and myself, we both have that in common where we love bright coat. We love fashions that make you stand out. That when you
Right.
walk into a room, you get a lot of compliments, and it's just like, wow. And one of my other guests that I just previously had on not too long ago, I want to say back in March or sometime this month. Yeah, I want to say back in March. His name is Travis J. Winters, and he is a wardrobe consultant, stylist, and fashion model.
Mm.
And we were touching on men's fashion trends for the springtime. So, some of the trends that you're wearing, what are you predicting for this springtime? Because we're now in the spring months. We've come out of the cold and now we're in the spring months. So, what are some
Mhm.
trends that you are predicting for men's fashion for 25?
I would say blazers, clean cut blazers, and more accessories like rings, bow ties, hats, fedoras. I love me a good fedora. But yeah, I would say like accessories because we need, accessories can bring an outfit to life like no other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, we're going to take a shift here. We're talking about inspiration. We talk a lot about fashion and inspiration and what keeps you going. Who inspires you? What inspires you to keep going in your career as far as modeling? Because it's a lot. You're on call 24/7.
hmm I would just say watching other male models because they inspire me. Because I'm like, when you see other male models doing their thing or they're doing their photo shoots, that kind of brings me inspiration. Like, okay, wow, I see you, and it's just like, it is a very competitive industry because we all want to have that one designer. We all want to walk for that one designer, do this and do that. But it can be very inspirational watching others help, motivate you to keep going and doing your thing. So yeah, I would say, other people like, Jonathan Meadows, Ricky Wright, Coco. I think I use those are very inspirational other male models to me. When I see them doing their thing, it kind of gets me the fire to keep going.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And your opinion, because we work in the field of beauty, we work in the field of luxury. Fashion is like a luxury, it's beauty, it's all of that combined and then some.
Mm.
In your opinion, what makes a person beautiful?
I would say your spirit, not what's on the
Mm.
outside, but what's on the inside, like how you carry yourself, what your beliefs and everything. I would just say, your spirit, what type of person are you? Are you a kind person? Are you a motivator? Do you speak life into others? Do you rise people up? Keep them, motivate them, to keep doing what they do. I would say that, like, just your
Absolutely.
spirit.
What's something that you wish that your parents knew about you at a young age?
Um, I would say, let me see, wanting more out of life, like just not being the average person, just being, you know, an eclectic person. I don't think my parents didn't know how eclectic I was going to be as like at the age that I am now, like how the way I dress and everything. And it's just like when they see me, it's just like, whoa, what are you wearing and this and that. And it kind of takes them back. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you wearing? Where do you get these clothes from? Stuff like that. Because when I was younger, I wasn't as a person I am now. So I just wish they would have known, like, to prepare themselves for like the future.
Oh, yeah. And you start developing your own personal style at a
Right,
young age, and especially in your teen years. It's just like, okay, our parents dress us when we're like a baby or a toddler,
right,
whatever. But then as we start to get into our own, we start developing our own personal style,
right,
and that's what draws you in. You want to try
right,
different things.
right, right.
Now,
Right.
what's your love language? What's your love language as it pertains to fashion, as it pertains to life, anything? What's your love language?
I would say live out loud. Live as if you won't be able to live tomorrow. Like live your fullest day till just live out loud. Live like your life ends tomorrow. Like, you just wanna, do what you wanna do. Do what's on your bucket list. Go to the different places. See different sceneries and go to concerts. Just stuff like that. Like traveling the world. Just seeing life, living life to the fullest. I would say.
Absolutely. What's something that you've done that's really intimidated you, but it all paid off in the end?
I would say when I first started modeling, it was like auditioning for Michigan Fashion Week because when I first started out, I will always hear about the show and like the opportunities it brought. And I'm just like when I was younger, when I first started, I was like, I don't think I'm probably tall enough or good enough to audition for that show. But in 2020, I auditioned for it and I got in. And after that, like 2022, 2023, 2024. I've been a part of the show. So, and I met so many different people, met so many different designers, and collaborated with so many different brands. And it's just like, wow, I really did that. Like, I really, really did that. And I'm like very proud of myself on how far I came with that, with that brand and everything. So I would just say that because when I first started out, I was real intimidated by, certain shows and certain designers. But, I really just, kept it going, kept pushing, and and I really, got my name out there. So I'm just, I will say that.
Absolutely. And it's like stepping outside of fear because it can be nerve wracking. You're
Hmm.
walking in front of a lot of people, and there's a lot of critics in the
Right.
fashion world. And
Hmm.
it's just like, okay, I don't want to fall. I want everything to be perfect. I want to make sure that I'm posing correctly. I'm doing everything the
Right. Right.
designer
Right.
asked me, the show director asked me to do. So it's all like all the tension is up in the air. Everything has it's
Hmm.
like hit or miss at that point.
Hmm.
Now, speaking of that, side note, self-care. We talk a lot about self-care. So, what are some methods of self care that you indulge in? Because I believe that in the fashion industry, we love to look good, but we also
Right.
have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves to look this good. So,
Hmm.
self care, what are your methods of self care? What do you do in your downtime?
I do have my B days when I go out. I get a Medi and Patty because I believe in taking care of hands, feet.
Yes.
Going to the barber shop, getting your hair cut, doing this, doing that, and also I do a lot of self therapy as far as going to a men's group, talking about our mental health because that's something I really, really take pride in because I think that as men, we do have a stigma of not wanting to be vulnerable, talking about our emotions and everything. And I really take pride in that because I can be a very emotional person and keeping everything bottled in that kind of destroys you. And that's why you have so many men, I know so many fellow members, fellow friends who have committed suicide because they just don't have the safe space to talk about their mental health. So I like to express, that and talk about my emotions with other fellow men, like, be vulnerable, you know. And so I do seek, talk to a professional about my mental health and what's going on in my life, my love life, relationships, my relationships with my parents, and everything. So just to keep myself sane and just to have someone to talk to about my emotions and be vulnerable, and I think that's very important that we should, you know, get more encouragement for that because I think some people see that as a weakness for men just to be emotional because we're supposed to be strong and tough, but we do have, we're human. So I like to, just go to a safe space and open up and just talk about everything and cry and let everything out and just be, you know, heard. So yeah, I would say that. Just get your mental health in check.
I'm so glad that you said that because I touch on that a lot on my platform.
Hmm.
And I touch about how it is important for us as a collective, as Black people, because for so long we we hold that trauma. We hold on to everything that we've endured, that we've been through. And some people say,
Hmm.
I don't look like what I've been through. But
Right.
in order for us to get past everything that we've been through, we have to talk about it.
Yeah. Talk
God
about
put
it.
therapists here for reasons. And I'm so glad to see everyone that is opening up and saying, hey, I went and sat on the couch and I talked to a therapist. Mental health is real within the Black collective.
Yeah.
And especially in this climate with everything that is going on and we're watching news, it's mentally exhausting and draining,
Hmm.
and it takes a lot out of you. So my advice to anybody would be talk to someone. BetterHelp.com will provide you with resources. There's so many resources out here. Black Mental Health Wellness, I think here on the gram, has a place where you can go and check out Black, if you
Right.
like Black therapists, whatever you want to. But we as Black people have to open up and talk about it, because if you don't, and my mother would always say this, faith without work is dead. God puts therapists here for a reason so that they can
Hmm.
listen and they can save our lives and tell us, okay, sometimes you need a second opinion on the
Hmm.
outside. If you don't want to go and talk with a family member, talk with someone who you feel comfortable with outside of the family, and maybe they can advise you if you want a second opinion. But if you feel comfortable with going and talking to your mother, like me and my mother are very close. Me and my mother, my grandmother, and the rest of my family, very close. But if you don't feel comfortable yet, talk to someone. There's counselors and people out here who can help you.
Right. Right.
And I'm
Right.
here. My DMs are open. You guys and message me on a daily. You see the political posts and stuff, and you message me, Miss Stevie, what can we do? What can we do? Right now, I would suggest that everybody just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. It's a lot going on, I know, but we're going to get through it. Black
Right.
people, we have the power in us to survive the most worst of the worst. And I want you all to know that if we stay grounded, if we stay level headed, the wicked will not win. And y'all know which wicked we talking about.
Mm.
So we're not even going to get into all that.
Right.
But I want you all to just remember that there are people out here who care. Family cares. Therapist cares.
Mm.
And that's why they're here, so that they can listen to their stories. And the reason why I created my platform is because I want you guys to have an
Hmm.
escape away from everything. You know how they say smoke and mirrors or see and don't see? That's what I want you guys to see. Yes, the world is burning down. Will Black people survive? Yes, we will, because we have before.
Hmm.
But I also want you to put some joy into your life. I also want you to talk about these issues that are bothering you, whatever it is that's bothering you. My DMs are open. I'm one DM away. So y'all message me about everything else, about what we can do, how we can move forward, how can we spin here, do this, do that. I am one DM away. I'm here. And I'm pretty sure Antonio is vice versa for him as well too. There are people who care genuinely,
Hmm.
and kindness goes a long way. So you never know what a person could be going through. And I
Right.
just want to encourage you that if you're dealing with depression, there's so many people who deal with depression,
Yes.
bipolar
Yes.
disorder, anxiety. I know I have anxiety. So I
Hmm.
mean, we could be feeling these moments anytime, any given moment of the day, just from something that could trigger us automatically. People have had panic attacks, all sorts of
Hmm.
things. Talk to someone.
Right. Right.
Talk to someone.
Right. Seek
There are people
professional
out
help.
here who can help.
Yes.
So
Yes.
your mental health is our priority. Make sure that you are protecting your peace. And sometimes if you have to unplug, definitely do so.
Mm-hmm. Yes. 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 So I know about the unplug button. I do. Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna shift on a lighter note here. What makes you feel the most confident? Because I know in this business, in the fashion world, when you walk into a room, it's all about confidence. When you're putting on this piece and you're standing out and heads are turning, where do you get that confidence from? What makes you feel the most confident?
I would say when I dress up, I would say that, when I put on my best outfit, best pair of shoes, best accessories, best pair of earrings. I just that because I feel like the man makes the clothes, and I just, it's just what I wear. It is just something about my fashion that just wakes people up, and I just love it. So I would say, when you look good, you feel good.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I just yeah. So I just, when I, go out to these little events, get all dressed up, you got people coming up to you. Who are you? What do you do? Are you a stylist? Are you a designer? No, I'm just a model, blah, 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 this and that. So yeah, I will say that. Like just, when you look good, you feel good. So yeah. Yes, that's, I will say that.
What's a change you've made to better yourself in the past year as a model, as a black man, as a collective?
I would just say, just you know, reassurance. Like, some people feel they do have those days where they're like not good enough, or
Or
I can't do
unworthy,
this.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah, so I just try to look in the mirror and say, okay, you have done this, you've done that, you've done this, you come this far, you have improved so much on your walk and this and that. And it's just, just look in the mirror and just see, who you are. And we have these things when we compare ourselves to other people, but like it's a cliche, but your competition is yourself. You like, look in the mirror, that's your biggest competition. What can you do to be better than what you were yesterday, So that could be taking more modeling classes, walk classes, stuff like that. So yeah, just don't compare yourself to others.
Individuality is key, and I touch a lot about that on my
Mhm.
platform here. Individuality is key, finding your own individual style. One of my guests, actor Ryan Keefe, he asked me a question when we did our interview, and I want to say this was back in February. He asked me this. He said, "Your style is always changing. You always change your hair color. You have a different look." I remember last week I did all blonde. I said, "Okay, it's back to the black hair for me. I love the black hair because I have brown eyes, and it
Mhm.
makes my eyes stand out." But um, he said, "You always change. Where does the change come from? Where does the inspiration come from?" And I read a lot of Vogue. I read a lot of Harper's Bazaar, Vogue Paris. I
Mhm.
try to do my own trends. So to correlate with the question of finding of what I just asked Antonio, which is individuality, finding your own individual self, and don't compare yourself to others. Now it's okay to take inspiration and advice and quotes from
Yeah.
people and use them and apply them in life. But as far as, being them, you are your own self. You are your best version of yourself. And it's
Mhm.
authentically. So be yourself authentically. And that person has their identity. They know their name and you know your name.
Mhm.
And that's all that matters. So just be your own individual self.
Mhm. Correct, correct, correct. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
My next question for you is, what do you want the most of in life? Like, I know we always want to do more. We always want to pursue more in our life and in our career and just in our journey alone. For you, what do you want the most out of?
Um, I would say love, finding someone, a soulmate, because, I've been single most of my life, and I don't do a lot of dating because I'm working, I'm doing this and that. I meet a lot of people, but it's just not a lot of, you know, love interaction, going on dates, get to learn somebody's love language, spending time with someone. So I would say love and relationships, like a long-term healthy relationship. I
Yes.
would say that. 'Cause I've been single most of my 20s and I'm in my mid early 30s and I'm still like single, but I don't mind being by myself, but a companion would be
But you
something new and
want
different.
something
Right.
special. What are some characteristics that you're looking for in a romantic partner? Could you list them off?
Um, thoughtful, passionate, love, charismatic, a sense of humor, you know, um, independence, support, stuff like that.
All right.
Great.
All right. There you go. And you're gonna find it manifested. And I tell people
Yes.
this all the time. Let love come to you. I myself am single. I'm 31. And the main reason why is because I chose to put the focus into this platform.
Hmm.
But pretty soon, as you get up in there in your 30s, just like, okay, what is it? I'm a catch. I want something tangible too. So
Right,
everybody
right,
deserves to be loved, and I have a feeling that you're going to find it, even in the most unexpected ways. It can happen to you. So yeah,
yes, yes.
where are you the happiest? At what point in your life are you the happiest now in your life through everything that you're encountering?
I, I would say spending time with my family because we're at the point of life where, I just lost my aunt a couple years ago, and she
Or
was someone that was like a second, mother to me. And it shows that I lost her to cancer, and it shows that life is not forever. And I would say spending more time with my family because I'm always on a go, 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 especially my family members. We all have jobs or responsibilities that we do. And I would say, like, for the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, getting together, drinking wine, talking, laughing, stuff like that. That's where I like to spend more time with my loved ones, I would say, because tomorrow's not promised. It may say kind of like a cliche, but I would say spending more time with my loved ones. I love, getting together, talking about the old days, looking through old photo albums and, stuff like that. I love spending time with my family.
and home is where the heart
Right.
is. And in these times where it's so unexpected, we've lost so many people. Like as you just stated, life is too short, and it's
Mhm.
important that we give people their flowers now while they're here
Right.
currently, because in these times it's uncertain through
Yeah.
everything. So it's
Hmm.
important that we spend time with our family members, continue to pour into them. And I'm a family person myself, and it's important that we value and cherish our family. There's not a minute that doesn't go by when I'm always with my mom or my grandmother and my aunt. These three women keep me grounded,
Right.
and we have a great time
Mhm.
together. So yeah, and yes, my condolences goes to you and your family for your aunt, because
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
also lost the aunt as well to my father's sister. And when I tell you, Antonio, she was very just like myself, how I am now at this point. She kind of taught me to find my voice. She was very outspoken. And I
Hmm.
remember her, she would have her cigarettes and stuff. And she'd be cursing my dad out. It would be so funny, and I would get a kick out of it.
Yes,
But
yes, yes.
yes, I mean, life is too short. Life is too short, and we have to enjoy it in
All
an
we
instant.
can.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. So my next question for you is, do you ever sit back in your life? Because we always talk about the present and being in the present as well. You ever find yourself sitting back and just reflecting like, wow, I can't believe I've done this in my life. I can't believe I've done this in my life. And what is the next chapter?
Yes, yes, I do sit back at times and just think about the things I've done. Like when I went to New York Fashion Week and I did this spinoff with Lala, who did an imitation of Tiana Taylor in the New York when she did her fashion walk. And we were on, this is the time when I went to New York Fashion Week walk fashion show. And we were on, what was the name of that thing? What, um, I forgot the name of it. Dang, what is it? What is it? What is it? We were on a big time thing on Instagram. We got like 1 million views on the video, and it just went viral. And a lot of people noticed me because how the way I was acting and whatever. But I got a lot of love for that, a lot of attention for that. So it was just like, and just the things, just going to New York Fashion Week, itself and walking, it's big, it's real big, and I really enjoyed that, and I never thought I would have made it that far in my career because like I said, I'm only 5'8", 5'9". When you go to New York, they're looking for the real tall models, that height. So I was real excited to get that opportunity to partake in New York Fashion Week. And it's just, stuff like that just really makes me know how far I've come in my modeling career and everything. So yeah, traveling is good. I also did the Indie Black Expo when I went to Indiana to go model. So it was just a wonderful experience. So like just going to different cities and states to see the world to do what you love to do. So yeah, I love it. So I would say that.
What's the very first thing that you think about when you wake up?
Um, how can I make today a great day? Like,
Yes.
what can I do to better myself or better my career or, just stuff like that.
Yes, and first thing the first thing I do, I know I talk to God. I thank Him for allowing me to open my eyes to see a new day. I
Mhm.
thank Him for allowing me to be here to be a vessel to spread
Right, right.
knowledge to people, to be able to help people, to be able to mentor, coach people in a way, to be able to guide people and tell them what they to do. And then vice versa. People give me advice. Yes, I called the shots. I own the show. I have Style by Stevie as mine.
Mhm.
But I'm not beyond approach. And I let people give me advice along the way as well too. I have a mentor like her name is Miss Melody, and she's
Mhm.
very precious to me and she gives me advice. So I'm thankful for having her and my brother K Tukes and so many others who show me so much love and support and give me advice along the way as well too. Like maybe you could have did this different. It's always great to have a support circle
Right.
behind you. So for you, how important is family and that support circle guiding you in your career?
Oh, it is. You know, it is very, supportive. My mom, she's very honest with me. Like as far as, okay, well, you could have did this better. Your half turn could have been a little bit cleaner. You could have, worked the outfit a little bit more. You could have, took off the hat, played with your garments a little bit more. You could have did this and that. She always gives me advice on how to improve on things. So I really appreciate that. She doesn't hold back. She's very honest and very blunt with me. So it's all out of love. So I do support that and I do take her advice and, she gives me advice on how to, work it a little bit more, let it, live in a moment. So yeah, I would say that. So I would say that because I do invite my, loved ones to my shows and give feedback and what can I do better, what I'm good at, stuff like that. So yeah. So I love that. I love that. I love that. Constructive criticism.
And one thing I can say about mothers know everything and they will let you know. Like my mother didn't know a whole lot about hosting a platform or being in show
Mhm.
business. She didn't know anything about it. Her reservations was, and that's each of our parents' reservations is what's going to be your backup plan if this doesn't work out.
Mhm.
But you have to prove them wrong. You have to make it work out. And how I
Right.
had to do that was educate myself. Because like I said, my mother, she didn't know anything about hosting a platform or writing for a Mac, any of that. She just wants to
Mhm.
know that okay, you're following your dreams and your desires, but make sure that you have a backup plan to go
Right,
with it
right,
as
right,
well
right,
too if it doesn't.
right.
So our parents, especially our mothers know everything and they are our greatest critics. So definitely, definitely,
Mhm.
it pays to have our mothers there backing us 100%, a hundred
Mhm.
percent.
Mhm.
So my next question that I wanted to ask you is, what's something that you've outgrown in your life and in your or just in your career in general?
I would say I outgrown insecurities, and like just like you know certain insecurities about me being bald, not having hair, or my body type, stuff like that. I learned to embrace how I look and how I feel, stuff like that, and certain people, you do have friends in your past that were really not your friends, that didn't
Oh
support
yeah.
you, didn't believe in you, put you down constantly. And as you get older, you start to see like, okay, yeah, you're not really my friend. You're kind of a hater a bit much. So you try to cut those people out of your life just to protect your sanity, I would say. You know, just like people that are not good for you, just in your life, just real negative, just here to bring you down because they don't feel secure about themselves. So I just say, I've outgrown a lot of people in my life, just cutting them out of my life because they were just dead weight, I would say.
Absolutely. And as far as being bald, you make it look sexy. In
Yeah,
your photos when you're walking on the runway, it's I see confidence. I
yeah,
see
thank you.
sexy.
Mm.
sex appeal, and that's what they're looking for in the fashion industry, is someone who is confident, and that
Right.
inspires people too, because confidence is sexy. And when you have confidence, because a lot of people struggle with self-esteem issues, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my god. And from take me for example, I have a mole on my arm. I can't show it to you now because I'm full, this arm is covered,
Mm-hmm.
but that's one of my insecurities. Another one of my insecurities is when I was younger, I fell off the bicycle
Yeah.
and I had a
Star.
scar on my leg. And when I first started doing this platform, hi Tit for Tat, hey baby, um, I would always cover. I would always have on like these capri pants.
Mm-hmm.
But now, take a look at the dress that I have on today. I love it. I own my sexuality. I own being a woman. I love being a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't change it for the world. I said, okay, at one point I want to cover this up, but now I'm just revealing this, revealing that. I reveal this to the world, and I feel confident. It's what makes me feel good. And I
Mm-hmm.
want people to see that you can express yourself in many different ways through style. And what else? Another thing that can make you feel confident, you can put on your favorite lipstick color, you can put on your favorite hat, whatever that makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence comes from the inside.
Right, right.
And I want people to realize that. It took me a long time to get to this point in my life right here, to be wearing these type of clothing pieces that you would see me wear. But whereas before I was like, okay, I gotta cover it. I can't do too much. I was a bit of a tomboy mixed with femme, but now it's just straight up feminine. I said, okay, it's time for a
Right,
change. But
right.
now that I'm in this era where it's new, it's me, I feel pretty good. And I love the person that I became, that I
Mm-hmm.
transformed
As you
into.
should, as
And I
you
think a
should,
lot
as
of
you
people,
should.
so yeah, own it. Confidence is about owning it. And as far as anybody who struggles with self-esteem, never let them take your light away from you.
Right, right,
Never
right.
let them dim your light. Never let them diminish you. You own who you are authentically. When I come
Mm-hmm.
on here every day, it's Miss Stevie, it's glamour, it's beauty, it's all of these things that you know, that you all know me for. And I want you guys at home to take a look in that mirror yourselves. And what also can help is affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
Affirmations can help boost your confidence.
Right, right,
So,
right. Yes,
one
that's
thing I
me.
say to myself every morning, I say, I am invincible and I am afraid of nothing that can shake me, that can break
Mm-hmm.
me. That's one of my affirmations. Another
Mm-hmm.
one of the affirmations that I say to myself is, I am surrounded by people who uplift me and make me feel good. And that I am. My mother, my grandmother, I don't know where I would be. And I talk about our mothers being like black diamonds because black diamonds are the toughest to cut. We know
Mm-hmm.
about cutting other carrots, but the black diamond, that black diamond you can't cut. It's not gonna cut. It's not gonna budge. It's nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
our mothers are just like that because they're not going nowhere. They're gonna be with you till the very end, and they're gonna let you know when you're wrong. They
Mm-hmm.
also gonna uplift you. Like my mother, our mothers know because they're women. Women, we have an intuition where we just pick up certain things. And my mother would be like, "Tell me the truth," because we look just alike. This is the same look that I'm giving Antonio. This is the look she give me. Tell me the truth. Something wrong, ain't it? Something wrong. And
Mm-hmm.
she'll tell me that, tell me the truth, mother. And they'll pull it out of you. Whatever it is, they will know. And she's done that to me before. If not me, then she's done it to my brother because I have four brothers and two sisters. One of my sisters, unfortunately, is no longer here with me.
I'm sorry.
But she would do that with each every one of us. And she'd be like, come on, tell me the truth. And then we would just pour it all out. Mothers have a way of getting it out of you. So
Mm-hmm.
if anybody can reassure you that you're beautiful, that you are enough, your mothers can. And I read that in Essence magazine. It was an article about confidence, and I can't remember which issue it was, but it talked about building up your self-esteem because I know a lot
Right.
of us, even as grown-ups, even as adults, we go through these things and we're just like, we start looking at our bodies, we start looking because we expect to look just like, like here, we scroll on social media and we see perfection. But it's just like in our nationality, when everything is all said and done and everything comes down, this person has to sit with themselves. And it's just like, okay, did I do this for me? Did I do this for
Mm-hmm.
them? So we take all of those questions into account. And I think a lot of people think about that when we go and do things or change certain things that shouldn't be tampered with. So, yeah. I want people to remember that. I want you all to remember that as it pertains to confidence and self-esteem, because a lot of us battle with it. I know I do from time to time. And
Yes. That's right.
the biggest insecurities, like I said, the mole on my arm that I can't show right now. Yeah, it's all the way down there. But um, even the scar on my leg is there,
Mm-hmm.
barely, but it's still a part of me. These are your scars are your beauty marks, and I
Mm-hmm.
want you all to remember that. Your scars, your dark circles. My mom talks about, oh, I need some collagen, I need some of this. You know how women get in there at certain
Mm-hmm.
age and stuff like that. But she's like, I said, Mama, you're beautiful. You don't really need a whole lot. Don't tamper with nothing that doesn't need to be tampered with.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
even I've had to learn that at 19 years old. My mother would say, what you need this eye serum for? What you need this for? Because I would mess around with all sorts of skincare products and stuff. And she'd be like, you don't need it. God will allow you to age the way you should
Mm-hmm.
age and look the way you should look. And I'm 31, and I try to make myself as healthy as possible. I take my
Right.
vitamins, I drink my water, and I stay hydrated. And that's why my skin shows it in all of my photos. Of course, the makeup, the glam, but not just the glam. Even without it, I see a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I see a happier version of myself. So take care of yourself, be gentle to yourself, and don't be hard on yourself. And that's what I think. It builds up confidence. It builds up self-esteem as well. So yeah,
Right. Right.
a little long-winded, but I had to get there. Oh my goodness. So it is now time. I do this with all of my guest fashion dolls.
Mm-hmm.
It is time. Oh, you young. Yes, 31. 31. And my sister cried. May God bless her. She cried when she turned 30. And I was just sitting there laughing like a Cheshire cat. Like, she was like, okay, you just wait. Just wait till it's your turn. Wait till it's your turn. Well, it's my turn now. And I have a nephew who is on his way to 2 years old. So, yes, Auntie Stevie is in full effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a toy poodle, so I'm a dog mom now. So it's
Okay. Okay.
definitely awakened me a lot to tap into that maternal instinct. So I'm blessed. I'm happy. But it is time, fashion dolls, to turn those tables. And then we're going to do something called the rapid five. But I want to start off with the rapid five first. I did it backwards, but I want to start off with the rapid five first. And Antonio has to tell me 5 things that he can't live without. And it can be anything: your favorite drink, your favorite show you like to binge watch, uh, whatever you like that you can't live without. And then we're going to do
Okay.
something called turning tables, where Antonio gets to ask me questions. And for my newest viewers, you'll get to know a little bit about me through
Okay.
these questions. All right. So take it away, Antonio. What are 5 things that you can't live without? I'm just curious to know.
I would say one is my phone because that's all my sites of communication. I would say social media because that's how I promote myself. Number three, I would say my fragrances, colognes, because I love a good fragrance. Four, I would say soap and water because I take 2 showers a day. And five, I would say my Bible, my God, because that's where, I'm having a rough day. I open up those pages, and those are the ones, that's my God, my Bible. I would say my Bible. Yeah, those are the 5 things I can live without.
I'm so glad that you said that, because my mother, she even told me that. My grandmother told me that too. She said, no matter how big you get, you don't forget to put the word of God first. And she said, put God first in everything that you do. So she would give me certain Bible scriptures to read, certain books to read that
Mhm.
give the scriptures in there as well too. So my mother didn't play that. She wanted to make sure that we were instilled and following and walking in our person, our purpose, and
Right.
that God was there guiding us along the way. So I'm glad that you said
Mhm.
that. And as far as fragrance, you guys know that I indulge in
Yes, yes,
fragrances. Every day is the
yes.
scent of the day in my story. So make sure you guys are staying tuned for that.
Mhm.
All right. So it is now time to turn those tables. My heart is beating so fast. I always get nervous because I have no idea what my guests are going to ask me.
Okay.
One of my guests, he got all up in my business. He was like, Miss Stevie, who you dating? Where your man at? All sorts of stuff. So take it away, Antonio.
Okay, my first question is, what made you get into the beauty of it all? Like what you doing today? Like what manifested you to start doing what you're doing right now? Like what motivated you to start doing what you're doing?
I would have to say my mother. My mother
Okay.
and the women in my family, they're all outspoken.
Hmm.
And I said I want a voice too because they would do things. They would go to concerts, all sorts of things. And you know how our parents and our adults in our family say, "No, you're too young. You can't go. Stay home." I said, "Okay,
Hmm.
watch me. That singer that you're going to see at that concert, I'm gonna be interviewing." So I've always been the one to prove people wrong. When they told me I couldn't, I can, and I showed them. And now we
Okay.
are at interview, I think 778. We are halfway at 800 interviews. We
Okay.
have been going since 2016, which is when I first started this platform,
Okay. Okay.
right after high school. And I didn't had a clue what I was doing. It wasn't originally called Style by Stevie. It was called Weekdays Topics. And we would do it more so in the morning time,
Mhm.
like how The View would do
Okay.
theirs. Mine's
Okay.
would be at 11 a.m. And then I started adding the interviews later on. I had friends and colleagues who were actors and singers, and they needed a platform to talk about whatever it is that they had going on. And of course, you'd get your daily dish of pop culture and anything political that's going on. People would get my take, and they just like, you have a voice. So that was when I discovered it, right there, right then and there. And then, of course, taking public speaking in high school has helped me as well too to get out of being
Okay.
nervous. Now, I remember my teacher, my ELA teacher, she had us stand up in front of the class and recite the words of Shakespeare. And I think it was a Midsummer's Summer Night's Dream, and or Othello, one of the two. And she had us recite the lines in front of the class. And I'm just like, I don't know why we all nervous in here. Like we shouldn't be nervous, but we see each other every day. And it was a piece of cake. So that kind of helped also mold me with public speaking.
Okay. 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 What are what is your biggest regrets in life?
My biggest regrets, I would have to say not learning how to say no enough. I'm always a yes person. I'm yes because I always want to please people.
Oh
Now
yeah,
I'm
that's
at a point in
good.
my life where I'm done pleasing people.
Hmm.
It's either I'm your cup of tea or I'm not your cup of tea.
Hmm. Yes. Yes.
Um,
I like
I'm
that. I
done.
like that.
Yeah, I'm done. I've gotten to a place in my life, and I think a lot of people, we want to please people. We don't want to make them sad or hurt them. But you have to
Mhm.
do what's right for your mental health too. And I understand the part of being selfless. That's important. Continue to be selfless. Don't be
Mhm.
selfish. Be selfless. But
Mhm.
at the same time, what about me? I have to take care of myself too. So I've learned that. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. 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 So, what do you see yourself in 2 years with everything that you're doing right now? Do you see yourself getting bigger and bigger each year, or?
I do. I'm manifesting it. Yesterday Beyonce just launched Sacred and Ulta Beauty, and when I look at that, I see myself doing something on that kind of level, that kind of level. We're expanding. Other than just having this platform, I'd love to have a network. I'd love to
Mhm.
have products on the shelves, like Drew Barrymore. She has her talk show.
Mhm.
She has cooking utensils. She has makeup, fragrance, all of these things. Jessica Simpson as well too, but Jessica's not a talk show. She's a singer.
Mhm.
And I would love, but the thing is, Jessica has her store, her merchandise in the stores
Mhm.
on the shelves. I mean, everything from bedding to home decor, as well as Paris Hilton,
Mhm.
and now Beyonce and Rihanna. I would like to be on that level as far as having my name on products, as far as having it on fragrance, hair products, uh, makeup, fashion, all of those
Mhm.
things. And I would love to have this platform on a big network, but I would do it on my own terms. Black
Okay.
owned, of course.
Yes. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. Um. So, what inspired you to do what you're doing today? Like, what was that big inspiration that's like, yeah, this is what I want to do?
I was picked on a lot. I was bullied a lot in high school. And I
Hmm.
started learning how to speak out for myself.
Hmm.
And through me speaking out for myself, people just sort of backed off like, oh no, don't do that. Don't bother. And once I graduated high school, I started finding my own voice. I started branching out, networking. And that's how because it can be nerve wracking reaching out to people to get them to come on your platform,
Right.
reaching out, see, how they're going to receive you. And that's always been a thing. It goes back to what you asked me of. What is something that you regret doing? And that is saying no. Yes. Not saying no, always being a yes person.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, I always want to make sure that I'm in the clear, that I'm good. I got to put myself first. And I think a lot of people, we have to put ourselves first. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I've learned. I've learned how to speak up and find my voice. And I think for me being bullied, that's what taught me to find my
Oh,
voice.
okay. Yes. That bully can do one thing to you. Okay. So, on like, what do you want to be known for once you transition? What do you want to be known for when your name comes up?
Fashion,
Mhm.
fashion. I want to be known for bringing truth to power.
Okay.
I want to be known and remembered for being on the front lines, being active, not backing
Hmm.
down.
Hmm.
Because I'm a Scorpio, and one thing about Scorpio women, we are the toughest. We don't back down from a fight. We
Hmm.
look it dead in the eyes, and we will challenge it and be like, game on, let's go. I'll run your ass in circles.
Yeah. Yes. Mm, when you have children, what do you want to instill in them? Like, what do you want to like teach them? Like,
Tit for tat, you know how I feel about kids. I got one. She's a fur baby. She's already pooping around the house and stuff. She must be thinking it's outside. But when I get married or decide to, you know, whatever, have children, I would have to say I would instill to them everything, which is be fearless in your approach of everything that sets you
Mhm.
free. Be fearless and speak up and never let anybody try to take your voice from you or silence you or
Mhm.
make you feel inadequate or less than. And it goes back to everything that we touched on in this conversation, which is self-confidence. And I know a lot of kids suffer with self-esteem. They're just like, especially in your teen years, we all have. We puberty, acne, all of
Mhm.
these things. Some people have had to have braces. I mean, it's all
I
of these things, and it's just like,
embrace it.
why am I not good enough? But you have to keep looking in that mirror and affirming yourself. So that would be something that I would instill into my kids if I was to get married and have kids. I would say, think about yourself. Look in the mirror. Everything you need is there. It's perfect.
Mhm.
We are all created in God's divine image. So
Mhm.
everything you need is there. You don't need to change a thing because someone else made you feel bad. It's a them problem, not a you problem. It's a them problem.
Okay. Okay. And speaking of the marriage, what do you look for in a husband? Like, what do you look for in a husband, a soulmate?
I look for a guy who's like yourself. Like yourself, you said you like a guy that's humorous, like someone that is humorous.
Hmm.
I like someone who is humorous, who has a great sense of humor,
Hmm.
who's adventurous, who's outgoing, who knows how to hold a good conversation.
Yes.
I believe the
Yes.
conversation is engaging. I'm a sapiosexual, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
attracted to intelligence. So how we're having these conversations, and you guys see me have the conversations and ask these deep, thought-provoking questions. That's what I would look for in my significant other,
Hmm.
is someone who and someone who also knows how to challenge me. Because, like I said, I love a good challenge. Come on, bring it, and I'm gonna give you everything you need and then some. But someone that can be my equal, someone that
Hmm.
can understand me, and we understand each other, because communication should be key in any
Right.
relationship. So
Hmm.
that's what I look for. Someone who I can. We all look for someone that can be our soulmate. That's what I look for in life. Someone who knows how to make me laugh. Someone who knows how to bring me up when I'm down. Someone who understands that the journey isn't easy, but for neither
Okay.
one of us, but we're gonna get through it together. So that's what I look for in a guy, you know. But my Prince Charming is out there. I
Hmm.
believe it. But I've been so wrapped up in the work. It's just like
Right.
when you falling in love or looking for love, Hi, Miss T Ford. Hi, Naptown. When you're falling in love or when you're doing the work or whatever, it all falls in line. And that person that you're looking for could just somehow appear magically in your life out
Mhm.
of nowhere. So it's no rush for me. I'm looking and waiting and hoping and praying. Remember, Sierra said she said the prayer. So I pray every day that God puts someone in my life, and we
Mhm.
all make a list of everything that we look for in our ideal partner. But it'll happen on God's time. And then my mother would always tell me that because I would date a lot of guys. And she'd be like, you need to wait. Just wait. Don't rush it. Let love come to you.
Mhm.
Because when love comes to you and it bites you in the unexpected way, nobody can tell you nothing. That connection is so deep. It's so deep. Like to the point where words can't even describe. I can't even put the words out there to say how deep the connection is between me and this other individual.
Mhm.
So that's what I look for in a man.
Okay, 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 okay. So if you get someone who comes to you, they, want to do what you're doing right now, what would your like advice be? They want to do what you do, interview these people, have this big podcast. What would your advice be to them
You're gonna get a
on
lot of
getting started?
no's. Yeah,
Okay.
you're gonna get a lot of no's from trying to pitch and present your opportunity. But
Hmm.
there's a quote from Shirley Chisholm that goes like this, and that quote has always stuck with me. And it is, if someone doesn't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair.
Bring it up. Hmm.
And that's something that I've stood firm and stood on business on as it pertains to that. People haven't really been giving me opportunities, but I've been blessed to have certain opportunities, like to be able to write for one of the biggest magazine publications in the world, and that's Original Magazine UK, being listed as one of the most positive or influential women, and that pin is posted. So a lot of opportunities and blessings have come to me just from doing the work. So
Hmm.
I would tell people, don't give up. Don't give up. It's not going to be an easy journey. Starting off, you got to start somewhere. I remember when I started this platform, I had the what was it, the tablet, and
Hmm.
I would call people on Messenger to do the interviews. We didn't at the time have how we can go live on Instagram and set up
Hmm.
your backdrop or whatever, da 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 da, or add filters and all of that. But I had to literally call them, and it was like a little tripod sitting next to me while I sit on the stool like the guest is sitting next to me. So we've come a long way from that. So I would have to tell people, you have to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. But
Hmm.
people would tune in and watch because they've seen the growth,
Okay.
and it takes growth.
Okay. Okay.
You got to start somewhere. You're going to get a lot of no's, but don't let that discourage
Yes. 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 Rejection is part of the game. That's
you. Oh, yeah.
within everything. Yeah. 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 My last question is, how do you go about choosing the people you interview?
I look at their work. Of course, do your research, because then when I interview the guest, they're just like, how does she know this? I do a lot of research.
Uh-huh.
I spend and I make sure that I get everything fact checked. And then when I ask the guest that question, they looking at me shocked, like, how does she know this? Because I've done research. You
Mhm.
got to do research before any interview. And I think one of my favorite news anchors, may God rest her soul, it was the late Gwen Ifill. She
Mhm.
was all about that. That black woman, that beautiful black woman, showed up on PBS NewsHour. I mean, she had the facts, she had everything, and she would come in there and she would just dazzle guests. Another black woman that I can see that is also doing that as well too is Lindsay Davis on, I think it's ABC News. Is it
Mhm.
ABC? She did the debate with Kamala and Agent Orange.
Trump. Oh, okay.
Beautiful, educated black woman. So these are the two women who inspire me to do what I'm doing, and that is bringing the truth to power. And it can be challenging. So yeah, how do I go
Okay.
about picking out my guests? Is I look at their work, I look at their craft, and I said, oh my God, I think they would be great to come on the show and interview and just see what they're about, see their
Okay.
passions and their life stories. And then I share some of mine as well too. Because you don't just get the guest stories, but you also get bits and pieces of me as well too. Because like I'm new to certain people, they
Mhm.
haven't heard of me, and then there are some who've already been on previously, and it's just like an ongoing thing. They come back, back
Okay.
and back and back, and it's repetitive. And even the guests know who they are. And it's just like, well, dang. But it's all good. And once people get to know me, it's just like you'll fall in love with me the first 10 inches. First 10 minutes of just conversating with me. You'll fall in love because that's the type of personality that I am. My mother's the same way, very sweet, very caring. And I'm from South Carolina, so you can't go wrong with a South Carolina girl. She's from the South. She's sweet. She's kind. She's all of these things. And I am. And I bring that to people. I make you feel homely. So, yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Well, what's up?
That's all the
Yeah,
questions. So
yeah.
before we let you go, Antonio, what gems would you leave? Because you've asked me about legacy. What gems would you leave to the next generation that's following in your footsteps, that want to get into modeling or want to go into the world? Because again, it's all about confidence. The whole conversation today was centered on confidence and finding yourself and your voice.
Okay, I would say yes, confidence. Be who you are, and I would say like learn how to take rejection because the modeling world is
Oh,
full
yeah.
of rejection. You're not going to appeal to everyone. You may be too short. You might have not the right body type. Your tone not right, but just be rejection. Just keep on going. Once you fall down, get back up and try again. Just keep on going. That's the hustle and bustle of modeling. Some people love you, some people don't, but you just got to keep on going. Don't stop. Just keep on going. Just keep walking, and just learn how to deal with the ins and outs of modeling and dealing with the rejections and praising and everything else. So I would say that, like, because the modeling can be a little, you have your
Yeah,
rejection days, but that's part of the business, and it's very competitive. Just keep on working. Just don't stop. Once you get knocked back down, get back up and try again. I will say that. Just keep going.
absolutely. And today's final thought comes from H. Jackson Brown. And H. Jackson Brown says, in the confrontation between the stream and the rock, the stream always wins, not through strength, but through perseverance. And I
Mhm.
want you all to remember that. Keep going in your endeavors, as Antonio just said. I want you
Mhm.
all to be fearless in the approach of what sets your soul free, meaning living life through fire. If you have a divine purpose, because we all have a divine purpose and calling, God has put us here for a reason.
Mhm.
And your purpose is your reason. So if God says, okay, I want you to continue to encourage people, that's what I'm here for. I want to continue to put joy into your life. I want to put joy into each and every one of us through all of these dark times. And I want to make sure that you all are encouraged to go in your right path. And you all keep me uplifted. Tit for tat, Bubs, uh, Pure Lux Salon, who always comes in here and shows me so much love. Chrissy, K-Tubes, all of my, everybody, y'all show me so much love. And we keep each other encouraged. We've formed community. And that's what it's about, being able to have that village and that community
Mhm.
of people who love and care for you behind you 100%. And I wouldn't, how can I say, I wouldn't replace any one of these people that I just named because I'm so thankful. And when you have people like that in your corner, you hold on to them. People come in your life for a reason and a season.
Mhm.
And when their season is up, they're gone. But these people are here for they're here to help. They're here to encourage. And you keep
Mhm.
people like that in your circle. So I want you all to remember that. Perseverance, we will get through this. Another quote is from Rihanna. And Rihanna says, we must not focus on the chaos around us because that's a distraction, but focus on getting to the finish line. And I want you
Mhm.
all to stay focused on getting to the finish line. What might seem like a dark period or time for each and every one of us in the world, because we're not alone. We're in this together. I want you all to remember, find some joy. Find some joy. Find the things that make you feel good. Fashion makes me feel good.
Mhm.
And it is time for me to get another fill-in, by the way. So once I'm done with this show today, I'm about to be changing these nails up. That's what makes me feel good. And I want
Mhm.
you all to do the same as well too. Do something that makes you feel good. Call a girlfriend. Call your homeboys. Go out with your homeboys. Go shoot pool. Do something that makes you feel good. Go out to dinner. Take a family to dinner. Go out for drinks. Go partying. Go dancing. Learn a new dance trend. There's so many things that we can be doing. I've learned how to cook. So, hello. Those are things that bring me joy. Fashion and food bring me joy. So
Mm.
I want you all to find something good. Start a garden. Gardening. I see a lot of our people, black people, saying we're gonna get into gardening. We about this soft life. We're gonna get into gratitude journaling, which is amazing, and I would recommend it. Write down your thoughts. Put down your thoughts on paper. Whatever makes you feel good in that moment, I want you all to do it. And be intentional. Don't just sit there, but also be encouraged as well too. So that's the final thought of the day, Fashion Dolls. And Antonio, it was such a great conversation, and I would love to
Thank
have you
you.
back on again. Let
No
everyone
problem.
know where they can follow you and check you out, my love.
Okay, you all can follow me on You all can follow me on Facebook, Antonio Hardrick, and on Instagram, Gemini Gemini 0523. All right. Thank you.
All right, Fashion Dolls. Joining me tomorrow, we have Joe Rosen. And tonight, I will be on my colleague, Bubs the Gods platform. We'll be going live discussing a few things, a lot of stuff that is going on. So make sure that you are engaged. Subscribe to his YouTube channel, Bubs the God. Make sure you head on over and check it out. Me and Tit for Tat will be on the panel tonight. And it'll probably be around 10. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'll post something and let you guys know. But other than that, I want you guys to be intentional, be amazing, and I will see you all tomorrow. Head on over and subscribe to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube if you have not, and hit that bell so you'll be notified. And also check out the community tab. It's some vital information there, so you'll be informed and entertained, might I say. So make sure you guys tune in. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you.